Everyone, this is Arim. A bit of a message that I wanted to put in front of the video. So you may notice that there was a bit of a pretty large gap between this video and the last one. I think my last upload was either in February or early March or something like that. I'm pretty sure you can kind of get where I'm going with this, but obviously the pandemic has affected things a bit. I lost access to my recording booth that I usually use when I'm making videos, so I had to get a lot of things straightened out first before I could actually focus on making my video and things like that. So that's what caused the initial delay. On top of that, because I actually finished this video about 3 weeks ago, but I finished all the recording for it 3 weeks ago. I got the video editing and everything done sometime after that. But as I was, finishing the video editing project, I was trying to save the video and export and everything. The program crashed and basically deleted everything. So I lost the project, and so that was a kind of a bummer. So I had to start over with the video editing process from scratch. Um, and then shortly after that, the format shifted drastically, which basically made this video somewhat obsolete, and that kind of tanked my motivation to upload the video as well. But ultimately, I decided I should just go ahead and upload this anyway because, there were a couple of people who were interested in seeing the update to the list, while also, they just wanted to see the update to the list while also seeing how certain matchups were handled and things like that. And basically, because of that matchup information and the fundamental concepts that I go over in the video, I figured it'd be worth it to go ahead and upload it anyway. So yeah, thank you guys for continuing to support me and all of that. And without further ado, let's get started with the video. Salutations, fam. This is Arim, and oh boy, this video has been a long one coming, but better late than never. I always say, So not gonna be super different from the last deck profile as far as the general strategies. Just a couple of decisions have been made to optimize the deck. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the actual deck profile because I don't want that to be the focus of this video. I more so want to focus on the actual matchup discussion and things like that. I will highlight certain cards if it's necessary, but for the most part, I'm just gonna run through the actual card list. So let me not accidentally knock over everything. So yeah, standard lineup: 3 blue eyes, the 1 alternative, the 1 dragon spirit, triple chaos max. We have some level 8, so more level 8s because that's kind of the direction I took the deck. Instead of it just being Chaos Max Turbo, it's more of a standard Blue Eyes rank 8 type strategy. So I'm playing some cards to help tutor that part of the strategy. So I'm playing Galactic Spiral Dragon, Gizmek Orochi, and Chaos Dragon Levianeer. They're, extra bodies that you can summon. They're level 8, so they're a trade-in fodder. And, they help you go into your rank 8 plays. And overall, they're just really good extenders, really good at helping you break boards. More stuff to help break boards. I'm running 2 Kaijus, Gameciel specifically because Gameciel is a level 8. The other, I think Dogoran is also level 8, but I run Gameciel over Dogoran because Gameciel has less attack and therefore is easier to get rid of after I've summoned it. So next up, we've got our starters, standard stuff. We got triple Manju, triple Sage, triple Ancient Stone, and then the 1 Stone of Legend. Before I wasn't running the 1 Stone of Legend, but I decided to include it specifically because, just being able to search it off Sage and then discard it from Melody is just really, really good. So, last but not least, this is another thing that is different. I am running 3 copies of Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay. So link monsters aren't really necessary in a lot of decks anymore, but they are still played quite a lot, I've noticed. maybe not so much in like the top decks, but you know, Link Monsters are still very much in the format. So this is just an added consistency card. I'm not running, you know, things like Ash Blossom Effect Failure because I realized, you know, in playtesting that I didn't really like cards that disrupted my opponent from building their board, and I'd rather have cards that were actually good at just like breaking the board. So yeah. Now we move on to the spells. You know, standard stuff. Triple Melody, Triple Trade In, and then for our ritual spells, we got Triple Chaos Form and the one Advanced Ritual Art. Yeah, this is still pretty similar to what I ran, you know, in the last deck profile, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. And then for my last 4 board breaker cards, I'm running 2 copies of Super Polymerization because that card is broken, and 1 copy of Mind Control alongside 1 copy of Raigeki. I probably main deck Lightning Storm if I had access to it, but for now, this is what I'm running. These cards are really good at breaking boards going second. So now moving into the extra deck, I want to make it clear that the extra deck is really not that necessary. There's definitely a lot of flexibility in the extra deck that you could make. Most of it is just like super poly and then like rank 8 targets. Like mine is kind of tutored towards, you know, my specific playstyle, but you can definitely, you know, ditch the extra deck and go like a route of running like 3 Pot of Extravagance instead of the Fantastical, and then just like running 3 of a lot of the extra deck targets. Like you could definitely go that route if you wanted to like run that and then maybe like ditch the super polys for like Lightning Storm. But yeah, for the extra deck, as I said, I'm running, you know, super poly targets. So we got Chimera, Dragostapelia, Starving Venom, the World Chalice Guardragon, Mud Dragon of the Swamp, and Borreload Furious Dragon. So to explain, so Starving Venom will help you clear the same boards that Borreload Furious Dragons does as well. But the reason why I'm running Borreload Furious Dragon is because Borreload Furious Dragon is a lot more of a hard counter to something like Rocket Dragon Link. So if they have 2 Dark Dragons on the field, you can fuse them both, and then Borreload Furious Dragon is also an extra, you know, form of interruption. So it's like, let's say they made you go first and you like set a super poly, and in the middle of their combo, you summon the Borreload Furious Dragon. He has a quick effect where he can, you know, pop a card on your side of the field, like he can pop a monster on your side of the field and a card on their side of the field, like, and it's a quick effect, and you know it can target itself. So those are the super poly targets. And then I'm running 2 synchros, you know, the 1 Spirit Dragon, the 1 Azurize. I almost never summon these, but you know, just stuff that you can go into if you are made to go first. And then for my rank 8s, I'm playing the 1 number 90, basically the Cypher Blade package, you know, number 90, full armor, and Cypher Blade. And then for the last 2, I'm playing number 38 and Dingirsu. So typically, like, number 38 is what you make if you're made to go first, because, you know, a spell negate is actually very powerful. And then you have, like, you know, you could run stuff in the side deck, you know, to help facilitate what happens when you go second, and then, I mean, go first anyway. And then for the last 2 monsters in my extra deck, I'm running Link monsters, running 1 Linkuriboh and 1 Relinquished Anima. Linkuriboh helps you get your, you know, level 1s off the field to help clear your boards, help facilitate your plays. And Relinquished Anima does the same thing, except you can use it to help break boards. So it's like if they happen to summon a monster, you know, to like they're not careful with their zone placement, you can summon Relinquished Anima and just kind of like use this to help break boards. And so that's pretty good. And then the side deck that I've been playing, you know, like with my friends online and everything, currently is, you know, a lot of the more matchup specific stuff. So I'm running like, you know, I'm running 2 Droll and Lockbird, 2 copies of Nibiru. You might be wondering why I'm not main decking the Nibiru. And I've noticed that like there's, you know, occasionally there are matchups that I play where it's like they are combo decks, but they don't summon 5 times, or they make something like Apollousa on the 5th summon. So it's like typically I've opted to like put it in the side deck, so it's like I can side it in on matchups where it'll actually be useful. And then we have, you know, triple Ash Blossom. And then the rest of the side deck, well, honestly, yeah, the rest of the side deck is just kind of just back row hate because, you know, Mystic Mine is a deck. Anyway, I'm running 3 copies of Twin Twisters, 3 copies of Hey Trunade. So this card is actually like mad underrated when it comes to dealing with stuff like Mystic Mine, Stun, or Altergeist, etc., etc. You know, basically those like heavy back row decks. So like obviously if I had like Lightning Storms, I'd probably definitely run the Lightning Storms. But I honestly could see myself replacing the Twin Twisters with Cosmic Cyclone as well. Specifically because like I feel like it's just better in this meta right now. But Hey Trunade can help set up a lot of the same situations as Lightning Storm, even though it isn't as strong as Lightning Storm. Because like let's say, you know, they have like a bunch of like back row that like will disrupt you or something, and then they have like a solemn judgment or something, right? So Hey Trunade will force them to activate that solemn judgment, or else they'll just lose all their back row in the same way that a lightning storm would. And then, you know, if you use this to like, you know, force that solemn judgment, now they're at 4,000 life and you'll be in a much better spot to like kill them anyway. So yeah, Hey Trunade is very, very, very underrated. And then for the last 2 cards in my side deck, I'm running 2 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance because, you know, stunning people out of spell effects for a turn can be very good. And, you know, if they make you go first, you just play this. You make like Hope Harbinger. And it's just, you know, it's a pretty good card. Yeah. So that's going to be it for the deck profile portion. Now I'm going to go ahead and move into what is going to be the meat of this video, which is going to be matchup discussion. Alrighty, so if you've made it this far in the video, please consider hitting the like button. And with that, let's get right back into things. So, this is going to be kind of a like standard, you know, Rocket Dragon Link type of combo. Oh my gosh, the camera is all wobbly because the tripod's not stable. But anyway, yeah, I'll just kind of gun right through it and like explain it as it goes along. So, going to normal summon the Oviraptor. Oviraptor is going to mill a Carboneton. Carboneton gets banished to summon Flamvell Guard from the deck. These 2 are then linked off to summon Crystron Needle Fiber. Yeah, Needle Fiber is going to special summon Rocket Synchron from the deck. Rocket Synchron is going to get linked off for Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon is going to add the Boot Sector Launch from the deck to the hand. Boot Sector Launch is going to be activated to special summon any 2 rockets from the hand, or just 1, because you really only need 1 to continue this part of the combo. Link that off for a Guardragon LP. Then you have 2 zones a Link monster is pointing to. I want to make it clear, if you have Nibiru, activate it now. Anyway, Guardragon LP then special summons the Black Metal Dragon from the deck. Then you link that off for a Guardragon Pisty. The Black Metal Dragon will then trigger, adding the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon from the deck to the hand. Then from there, Guardragon LP gets banished, and then the Red Eyes is summoned onto the field. Red Eyes is going to special summon a monster from the graveyard. Oh boy. Anyway, then you're going to link off 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you already know it's our boy Saryuja Scoldred. So Saryuja is going to do the whole draw 4. This isn't really relevant for the combo. It's just to let you know in case, you know, there's basically, it helps with the consistency of the rest of the combo. So from this point, special summons the Guardragon Pisty. That Pisty will special summon back the Red Eyes. Red Eyes will special summon back a level 1 tuner, probably the Rocket Synchron. Then from there, Guardragon Pisty and Silver Rocket get linked off into a Romulus. The Romulus will then add a Dragon Ravine from the deck to the hand. The Dragon Ravine will be activated by sending the Boot Sector Launch to the graveyard to pitch a card and then mill the Tempest to the grave. At this point, Tempest will banish 2 dragon monsters, it doesn't matter which ones, to special summon itself. Then the Tempest and the Rocket Synchron synchro summon and summon a Void Ogre Dragon, boosted by the Saryuja. Then at this point, if they have a Quick Launch, a Rocket Monster, or, you know, Quick Launch or Rocket Tracer in their hand, they can go ahead and they can special summon the Rocket Tracer from the deck.
And then with Rocket Tracer, we'll pop the Dragon Ravine to special summon a a Magna Rocket Dragon from the deck. Then from there, Magna Rocket and oh wait, no, you don't do that yet. First, they link off the Saryuja and the Romulus to make the hieratic seal of Heavenly Spears. Then you synchro into the Borreload Savage Dragon. Doesn't really matter. And then it attaches this Saryuja and has 4 Omni Negates. So at this point, you're dealing with a board that is effectively an Omni Negate, a Spell Trap Negate, and a Hieratic Seal non-targeting bounce, which will then, after it uses bounce, summon a Morphage Goliath from the deck, which will lock out of the extra deck, or any other like Floodgate monster or whatever. But just know that Hieratic Seal will summon something from the deck after it activates its effect. So yeah, that covers the combo portion. Now we're going to discuss, potentially breaking this board. Alrighty, so now that we've shown how they go about making the board, now we can go ahead and discuss how to break the board. So a couple of things to note. When it comes to determining how to break the board, you have to first, point out what the strengths of the board are. What makes this board strong? And from there, you can also point out what are the weaknesses of this board. So as I mentioned, earlier, you have access to a non-targetable bounce that will turn into a floodgate on the extra deck. You have access to an Omni Negate in the form of Borreload Savage Dragon. You have access to a Spell Trap Negate with Void Ogre Dragon. And then Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is there so that if you do not break the entire board and kill them, they can, basically reestablish the board and make Borosword and kill you. So, what are the weaknesses of this board? So, assuming that they summon everything in attack mode, you can use something like Lightning Storm to try and force a negate. I explicitly put them in defense mode for this example to play around that. So the Void Ogre Dragon, since it was summoned under Saryuja, it will have 3,300 defense points, and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon will have 2,700. So the thing about this combo and this board is that it uses a lot of link monsters. So what that means is that if you know the proper moment when to drop the Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay, it's when they have Needle Fiber, Striker Dragon, Elpie, and Pisty on the board. That is 4 link monsters. What that means is you're going to be able to draw 5 cards into your deck to reshape your hand with. And that's a lot. That is a lot of cards to be able to use to further generate your card advantage. And now you have a body on the board. So yeah, that's one thing. Another thing you may notice is that that's a lot of dark monsters on their side of the field. So what that means is you have access to something like Super Poly to help break this board. And specifically, it is Dragon Link. You have 2 Dark Dragons on the field. So you can use Super Poly, fuse away the Void Ogre and the Borreload Savage Dragon, make the Borreload Furious Dragon, use its effect to target the Hieratic Seal, and effectively with that, you've basically broken their board with just, the Super Poly. And yeah, so that's one of the things that can be done to break the board. Another thing that I kind of want to point out, because I didn't mention it in the deck profile portion, is that a lot of your Super Poly targets are also level 8. So Borreload Furious Dragon, Starving Venom, and Dragostapelia are each level 8. So after you use them to help break your opponent's board, you can also use them to help you go into your rank 8 plays. So then in addition to this, you have things like Mind Control and Raigeki. These are cards that force negates. They don't bait negates, they force negates. Now, give me a moment so I can explain what that distinction is. So, baiting a negate would be something like I'm going to activate an effect that my opponent can choose whether or not to negate it. And, it's, really up to them. But it doesn't force them in a situation where they have to negate it. Something like Mind Control, something like Raigeki in this situation, forces the negate specifically because they don't really get to choose whether or not to use that negate. Because of the simple fact that if I activate this Mind Control, right, and I target the Borreload Savage Dragon and they choose not to negate it, it doesn't really matter because they're going to lose access to that once per turn negate anyway. And it's actually an even worse situation for them because now I'll have access to the once per turn negate. And the same thing with Raigeki. So cards that force negates are things that will put your opponent in a situation where they have to use it or they're going to lose it regardless of what they decide to do. It takes away that choice. So yeah. So cards that will, force negates will help you out in this situation. Now, in regards to Chaos Max specifically, why this board is so devastating against you specifically is that Borreload Savage Dragon, Void Ogre Dragon, they're spell negates. And, you can't activate your ritual spells until you deal with both of those negates. And then on top of that, Hieratic Seal can actually bounce back the Chaos Max. This is why it's a little bit better than going like if you are facing against something like IP, because Chaos Max cannot be targeted by Unicorn. So that's why Hieratic Seal is much more deadly in regards to that. So Gizmek Orochi. So interestingly about this card, let's say you're going second, right? I mean, you want to be going second. You can summon this in their end phase so that on your turn you'll have access to its pop effect. You can use its pop effect to, in a similar manner, force negates. So Gizmek Orochi targeting this Borreload Savage Dragon, right? It will force that negate because if they don't use it, they lose it. In the same manner, you can use it to force out this Hieratic Spear. So, force them to activate these effects before you go into your things that you don't want to be disrupted. You play your kaijus. Another part of the reason why this board is really strong is because, like, what do you kaiju? Do you kaiju the Hieratic Spear? Do you kaiju the Borreload Savage Dragon? Do you kaiju the Void Ogre Dragon? Each of these monsters are very powerful and very difficult to deal with on their own. So you have to really take a choice. I would probably make my choice depending on what else is in my hand at the moment to kind of try and force things out. Yeah, so that's basically how that would go. So yeah. And then alternative in a similar manner to Gizmek Orochi can use its effect to force these type of negations because it can't negate the summon. Hieratic Seal can bounce it back immediately, but then you've already played through one of the effects anyway, so it's still serving its purpose. Now, you'll notice that the way the board is positioned is a bit different from how it was when I performed the combo. That is intentional. You'll notice that Borreload Savage Dragon is in an empty monster zone. The reason for that is to showcase Relinquished Anima. So being able to summon Relinquished Anima to that zone that is pointing to Borreload Savage Dragon will create another situation where you are forcing a negate. So yeah, that effectively will showcase all of the a lot of the different scenarios that you can go through to break this board. So lastly, I would like to showcase a test hand where I actually attempt to break the board with the given hand. So yeah, we're gonna move on into that part. Alrighty, so now for this last part, we're going to be doing some test hands. I'm going to be, just kind of draw them 6 cards, see what we get, to kind of freestyle, give you a bit of my insight on how I would approach breaking this board. If I draw Phantazmay in the first 5 cards, we would assume, how I'd use it, which would be to summon it during the point in the combo where they have, the Needle Fiber, Striker Dragon, LP, and the Pisty. So yeah, let's cut the deck and just let's see what we get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have Would you look at that? We have a Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay. So, let's set that down. Add them 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be like really, really, really strong in regards to helping us set up, something for a board break. Well, see that Super Poly? We basically already got that right there. I had to put back 4 cards. I put back 2 of the Fantasmay. And then I have to pick 2 other things. Dang, this is pretty insane, actually. This is also kind of a whack hand. Let's see. I will put back a Chaos Max. So that's 3. And let's go with one of the copies of Chaos Form. So that is 4 cards that we put back, which would be the number of link monsters they control. And now we go ahead and we shuffle, and we'll draw that 1 card. Also, I just want to point out that this does kind of suck, because, like, you know what? I won't complain. I did draw the Super Poly. That is a board breaker card. All right, so this would be on the field. That would be on the field. And then now it's our turn. We draw for turn. Man, this is a pretty powerful hand. All right, so we have Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay on the board, right? So we're gonna start this off. We're going to activate Super Poly. I'm gonna pitch this, Galactic Spiral Dragon, right? And oh my, we about to have some plays, right? We're gonna fuse away the Borreload Savage Dragon and the Void Ogre Dragon, right? I'll just put that right there. And oh no. I'm gonna put that right there, and I'm gonna summon out. Where's Borreload Furious? Oh, here we go. Borreload Furious Dragon. So I'm gonna summon out Borreload Furious Dragon. This is awkward because I have to navigate the the camera too and try to not knock it over. All right, so next up you have Borreload Furious Dragon, you have Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay on the board. So interesting thing is that at this point we can get rid of the Hieratic Seal, because Borreload Furious Dragon can activate its effect to pop a card, right? And I actually think we want to do that specifically because of the fact that we don't want to allow the possibility of them having access to something to interrupt us when we would go for the Chaos Max play, because it'll be able to bounce back the Chaos Max. So let's say we activate Borreload Furious Dragon to target the Phantazmay and the Hieratic Seal. So let's say they go ahead and they trigger this, tribute it off, and you know what? Let's just say they bounce the Borreload Furious Dragon, because it's just better for us to have this on the field, and that gets bounced back. What did I do with the Amorphate Goliath? I don't know. Well, let's just assume that's Amorphate Goliath. So that's on the field now. So we're locked out of the extra deck, right? Now we can go ahead and activate this Chaos Form. We'll tribute one of these. Yeah, it doesn't really matter which one. But we'll tribute one of those. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to summon the Chaos Max onto the field. So at this point you actually have your win condition, because the monster summoned off Hieratic Seal will have 0 stats. So it's a 0 defense point monster. At this point you can just kind of swing for game. but just to like really be sure, right? So I control 2 Dark Dragons, which means I can special summon Galactic Spiral Dragon from the graveyard. Activate Spiral Dragon, activate Spiral Dragon, turn everything level 8, and then overlay this and the Phantazmay, and we're gonna, oh wait, no, we can't, because Amorphage Goliath's on the field. This is why it's important to, like, actually grab stuff. But anyway, enter battle, you swing over the Amorphage Goliath, you deal 8,000 damage, so you win. Assuming they didn't summon the Amorphage Goliath, and they, like, just summon, what was the other Floodgate monster? I can't remember, but the point is, right? The point is, after, they have the 0 defense point monster on the field, you summon Chaos Mech and you just swing over it and you win that way. Yeah. I will do another test hand because Super Poly kind of cheats. So yeah, I'm going to do another one. So let's put that back there. Put that there. Also, you'll notice that the way that these cards are set up is slightly different from how they were when I was doing the combo. That was intentional because I want to be able to like showcase the, potential of, Relinquished Anima. So that like if they do happen to summon a monster under this like empty extra monster zone, or just it doesn't really matter which one, but it's just a monster under there that is like important can become susceptible to Relinquished Anima, and you have ways to like summon Relinquished Anima because of your level 1 plays. So yeah, this also didn't really get to showcase, playing through negates, I guess. But I mean, I guess just draw Super Poly. That's how you win the Dragon Link matchup. Just draw Super Poly. That seems like a pretty solid advice when it comes to this matchup. All right, so that was one test hand. I mean, you know what? Wow, I think about that, actually was pretty broken. It's like you drew 5 off of Fantastical, and then you drew Super Volley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I guess you like that also showcases just like why I'm playing it, because I didn't have anything in like the original opening hand, but then Fantastical gave me. Well, look at that. We drew another Fantastical. We opened another Fantastical. So you know what that means? It means we get to, put this on the field, right? I'm gonna put my hand like right there. We get to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then reshape our hand with whatever we see fit. Okay, so we're obviously going to put that back because we already have a Fantastical on the board. And then we got to put 3 more cards back, right? So how do we want to approach this, right? Okay, we want to keep the Sage because that'll allow us to summon a Blue Eyes from the deck. And then, yeah, this is how we'll do this. So those 3 cards, I'd say go with those 3 cards. Do I have a ritual spell? I don't know, but we have Manju, so this isn't too bad. This actually, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. So, oh wait, no, I have to put another card back. Oh no! All right. Oof, this is hard. What do I put back? I don't want to put back Sage, but that's probably the best option. Oh man, that hurts. I gotta put back Sage. All right, it's fine though, because we're running Sage at 3, and the protagonist power is gonna kick in, right? And after we shuffle, we're just gonna draw it for turn. That's what's gonna happen. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. All right, cut the deck. All right, it's time. Let's see what we draw. Draw. Oh, we drew another trade in. That's not the best, but all right. Well, let's see how we can handle this. Um, hmm. Should I have put other stuff back? Well, okay. So we have a kaiju, so that's pretty good. That's really good, actually. Um, hmm. Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay is on the board, right? Let's... How do we want to do this? Okay, so firstly, we're going to Kaiju the Borreload Savage Dragon. Do we want to Kaiju that or the... Because we want to resolve our trade-in, I'd say. That's probably what we want to resolve, right? Kaiju this. So Kaiju that. Alrighty. And now, they don't have a negate to stop you from using Manju effects. So Manju to search from your deck, so you can thin your deck so that, you know, it'll help you resolve trade-in, I guess. So I guess I'm gonna resolve this. I'm gonna add this advanced ritual art, I guess. All right, so we're gonna shuffle the deck. The focusing is getting all weird. There we go. Right? Because we're about to do things a bit differently, right? But you know what? Maybe the question is, because Hieratic Seal does summon a floodgate, so like, would they even let you keep the Fantasmy on the board? Like, that's just another body to play with. Or would they want to, like, I know I would, but it's like, would I would the average player shotgun the negate? I don't know. I think about it like as it's happening, this kind of like, be like, okay, this is what I would do. So, trade in, pitch the Galactic Spiral Dragon, right? Obviously, we don't want our opponent drawing cards, so this is going to get negated. That's going to get negated. And this is where... Okay, so we got 3 cards left, right? Void Ogre's negate has been used. Borreload Savage Dragon got tribute off. But Hieratic Seal is still on the board. So we're in a predicament. We're in a bit of a predicament. So we have 2 options, right? Well, really, we only got 1 option. We can, if we summon the Chaos Max now, and assuming they haven't used the Hieratic Seal to just bounce this back to your hand, then, you know, I'm going to, just for the sake of it, just to like kind of make it more exciting in RNG, I'm going to activate the trade-in, and I'm going to pitch the Chaos Max to draw. I'm probably giving up my win condition here, but you know what? I kind of like the exhilaration of it. Yo, let's go! We drew it anyway. That was kind of what I was banking on. Oh man. You see that? You feel that rush? That rush you feel? But yeah, because Hieratic still doesn't target, so Fantasmay doesn't protect the Chaos Max. That's the part that makes it a little difficult though. But we have a stone in hand, so oof. I guess we'll do the advanced ritual art now and just Okay, so if we assume that they just like kind of kept holding it to make sure we don't have the Fantasmay on board, because I mean, having the Fantasmay on board is kind of good because of the simple fact that having Galactic Spiral Dragon in the grave and such will allow us to go into like rank 8 plays and such. But like, if we assume that they didn't shotgun it, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to OTK them because of the fact that you know, as soon as you summon the Chaos Max, they can just bounce it, and then they get their Floodgate, and you're pretty much out of luck there. So that test hand unfortunately wasn't a success, but it is what it is. That was still like a fun little thing right there. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try for one more test hand, right? One more test hand to see if we can't, you know, oh wait, let me, that's supposed to be in the deck. That goes right there. Also, all the monsters are in defense position to play around Lightning Storm, because that's typically what a lot of players would want to do. They want to play around Lightning Storm. All right, so I think that's good enough shuffling. And then cut the deck. All right. Now let's see if we can actually just open, open something good, right? Open something good. This is the 5 card opening hand. That's gonna be the deck over there. 1, 2. Oh god, this hand sucks. This hand sucks. Oh no. All right. It's fine. It's fine. Prot- Let's go. I'm too powerful, man. My plot armor is too strong. Okay, this still kind of bad though, because like, yeah, we get the super poly, but like, that's it. So it's like we do get to break the board, but like that's it. Um, hmm, how would I do this? Okay. So, yeah, obviously you're gonna super poly. You're gonna pitch. Do we pitch the Stone of Legend? Well, I guess because at this point, because you wouldn't be able to kill them this turn, you would be also setting up for next turn. So pitch a stone, right? And fuse away these two because they're obviously the biggest threats. And then make the Borlope Furious Dragon. Right? But this guy is really good. Really good, strong level 8. And then I kind of like that idea because that'll give me 2 blue eyes. So going to summon this, right? And I am going to. Dare I link it off for Linkuriboh? Part of me like thinks I should, yeah, you should just link it off for like Linkuriboh or something. Cause like you can't really. If this was a Boral sword right here, then you could link it off for Anima and just eat it. But this is a probably at best a Linkuriboh. Uh, hmm. All right, so yeah, we're going to make a Linkuriboh with it. We're gonna make a Linkuriboh with it. Oh wait a minute, that's really good actually. I just realized this is a quick effect. I can do it in the battle phase. So the only reason why I'm leaving this on the field is because this has higher attack than Linkuriboh. Anyway, you're gonna enter the battle phase, and you're going to swing over the Hieratic Seal with the Ancient Stone, right? And then, obviously this would tribute, and then they'll summon their Floodgate, and then from there, hilariously enough, I mean they probably bounce this, but then you just chain this to, I would say, yeah, pop itself and get rid of the red eye so they can't rebuild their board next turn. And then this will instead swing over the Floodgate because remember, the monster summoned off of Hieratic Seal has 0 stats. And then main phase 2, link this off for like a Linkuriboh or something. Where's Linkuriboh? Where are you? There you go. Link it off for Linkuriboh. And then end phase, you get the special summon from the deck. Do we have a blue eyes in hand? So when I have a blue eyes in hand, I like to summon Dragon Spirit from the deck specifically because it has that ability to like dodge effects and such. So where are you? It's right here. I'm blind. And if we should have learned anything is to never place a monster under this empty zone. Just don't do that because Relinquished Anima is a card. All right, so I mean, we didn't OTK them, but it's like we still broke the board, so that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. But anyway, that is going to be it. So I want to point something out. You'll notice that like there's a lot of cards that I use that are kind of like budget options that end up being like really good. So one of the videos I'm thinking about making, in the future is kind of a video that showcases how I go about like figuring out these options. So basically, the idea is that I would, be talking about a expensive card. I'll take you guys can suggest expensive cards in the comments. I'll basically be breaking down the role of that card to kind of explain like the role of the card, the versatility of the card, the power of the card, etc., etc. Basically, explain the things about it that are good that make it why it's an expensive card, and then from there, I'll go over you know cards that are able to also fill that role as budget replacements for things, because I'm actually in the process of just bleh, words are hard. Okay, words are hard. So I'm in the process of making like a big spreadsheet type thing that kind of is going to serve as a resource that I'll have available for everybody, that kind of just showcases like you know cards that can fill into various roles. So it's like no one that like immediately comes to mind is people think of like infinite impermanence, and then a budget replacement would be like something like Effect Veiler, but a budget replacement that is often not really talked about, that also serves a lot of the same roles and same utility as infinite impermanence, is a card called Forbidden Chalice, right? So Forbidden Chalice works in a similar way, in that if you know, going first, right? You set infinite impermanence, and on your opponent's turn, you flip it up to disrupt your opponent. If you go second and you draw infinite impermanence, you can, slap that bad boy down to negate one of your opponent's monsters to allow you to break their board more easily. And the third, and this is like the biggest reason why infinite impermanence is so valued, is the fact that you cannot respond to infinite impermanence with Call by the Grave. And Forbidden Chalice fills all three of those roles. The only thing that Forbidden Chalice doesn't have that Infinite Impermanence does have is that Forbidden Chalice isn't a hand trap. It's a quick play spell card. But being a quick play spell card that modifies stats, it gives you the ability to activate it during the damage step. So that is a unique application that it has. And 2 out of 3 is not that bad. So, yeah, if you would be interested in something like that, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. And with that being said, this has been Darkslayer Reem. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.